So I got Titanfall 2 a few days ago. I know it's a quick jump to make a video on it this early into playing the game, but I feel like you guys should know my thoughts on this game. Because, you know, it's a good EA game, and actually, it's probably one of the first one that's not pay to win. Like, right off the bat. Battlefront 2 is no longer pay to win, but it was when it first came out. It was still fun when it first came out, except it just wasn't as fun as it is now. Now, I want to start off talking about the story and the beginning. You start off pretty much going into a simulation. The simulation starts off explaining weapons and things like that, explaining mobility, and how this is probably a better game than, like, Advanced Warfare or anything with advanced mobility in the Call of Duty series. Well, doesn't say that flat out, but it's relatively easy to tell. Wall running, climbing, grappling, all that is there. And it's really well done. Now, of course, some things I just said aren't in the beginning, but it's still really well done. You also have the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is actually used in lore later on down the line for Apex Legends, with Octane using frag grenades as a way to boost himself through this. And it's really, really well done with a tie between Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends, including the Apex Predators faction and all of that. Also, these guys are Apex, but the main guy is this guy, because, yes, even the line, I kill you, I'm better, you kill me, you're better, is straight from this game. You may hear it, I think it's Bangalore that says it in Apex Legends. It comes from this guy. But now, Advanced Warfare starts off with, it's either Advanced or Infinite, I forget which, but it starts off with your best friend dying. Now, they have to explicitly say your best friend. That, when you have to explicitly say your best friend, that sucks. What they should do is have a cutscene where they're about to go and deploy and say, remember your training, and then go to gameplay of the training. That, and also having the person in game that's your best friend teaching you through the course would be smart. That's what they do here. Your captain, which you can tell is pretty much a friend of yours, he, well, is obviously a friend. He shares some personal stories. Now, he does die very early on, but the thing is that even though he dies early on, he still makes a big impact, unlike Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare, I forget which one it was. Now, when you are comparing this to the multiplayer, you may notice a few things. First off, this has limited ammo. This is simply because of the fact that it's, meant to be a somewhat realistic story. They also talk about how pilots are better than the standard soldiers out there, and how they are pretty much a one-man army. You can see right here how they talk about it. It's really well done. And then, everything like that. Multiplayer, everyone's a pilot, except for these dudes, who are called grunts. They're just standard soldiers. You have specters and all those who come in, you have to fight off. But there's something in the multiplayer and the story mode, or really campaign, that I want to talk about. Voice lines. Voice lines actually are in both. You'll hear one character say one thing in the story mode, and then you'll hear that same line come out of a friendly grunt in the multiplayer. It's amazing. It's amazingly well done, and it's incredibly well thought out. This is, again, one of the better EA games that I have ever played. Now, you have a lot of weapons in this. In the story made what? In the story mode, you are shown a lot of things. Look at all this. How are you expected not to be overwhelmed with choice? Well, in the multiplayer, start off with one SMG, one assault rifle, one sniper rifle, pretty much one of everything. You have what you need in order to get started in the multiplayer. And you actually can easily tell most of these are balanced. The Kraber is the only weapon that I've found to be somewhat overpowered. Same goes for the Mastiff, but then again, those are seen as overpowered and take a while to get, and also require a lot of skill to use. Now, classes. These things are really important in this game. You have a lot of classes, a lot of abilities, and to someone who's just watching, they make no sense. So, what are these abilities? Most of these abilities are meant to help you out in the field. You have personal cloak, which pretty much makes you invisible for a short period of time. You have, like, a list of them. You'll be able to tell easily what it is. Now, you also have ordinances and weapons and all that. You also have, like, a mini-ultimate, an ability that takes a lot longer to get. It's not your Titanfall, but usually it's like a charge weapon, a decoy, things like that. It's really well done, really planned out, and honestly is really smart. Now, you also have your Titan. Now, when you get your Titan, you pretty much are a machine that cannot be stopped unless the battery is taken out, and then a frag is tossed in it. Which isn't that hard to do, like at all. So, now you may be thinking, well, what about, like, the Titan? How long does the Titan last? I've seen Titans that have lasted from the beginning of the game to the end. Now, of course, I don't have footage of this, but they last a decent amount of time. Teammates can even ride them in order to have better mobility, which is smart and really well done. Now, I know that Titanfall 2 isn't the best shooter, but you gotta give him props, honestly. You gotta give him credit where it's due. Mobility is used a lot better than most other shooters. The weapons are actually balanced, and that's better than most EA games. The Titans are high risk, high reward. You risk giving enemies a Titan by getting a Titan yourself. You do a lot and get a lot. That's what happens. Now you may be wondering, well, what's the goal of most modes? It's mainly kill the enemies. Ta-da. Nothing really crazy, just that's what I've seen so far, mainly team deathmatch and things like that. With that said, I hope you guys understand what Titanfall 2 is, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you want sneak peeks of upcoming videos, or to see videos being made live, go over to my Twitch. It's in the description. And also, just hang in there. See ya.